Hello, hello. DM Geezer Jim here. We are still reading along. Mr. Cat can't decide if he wants to sit or stand, so hopefully he'll sit for this video so it doesn't mess my sound up. Next up in our audiobook of Uncaged Faces of Sigil is Jemorille the Exile. An interesting story. Leaves a lot for the DM to interpret, a lot for the Dungeon Master to handle, but let's see what happens with it. We'll read through it first and go from there. The Lady of Pain does not keep peace in Sigil. I do. You, no doubt, swear that it is the lady who ensures the symmetry of Sigil, that her power, or the merest threat of it, prevents every ambitious villain this side of the Prime from marshalling an army and taking the cage. I allow that deception to continue. It serves my purposes. But the lady is a mere wick guard, a candle snuff who smothers the flame once it begins to burn too brightly. Mine are the fingers that shape the wax. Mine are the fingers that melt it again. No fires catch the lady's eye save those lit by my own hand. You don't believe me. I can see it in your thoughts. Such is my power. But why should you? You who accept the illusion, the delusion of free will. Nothing you do can make a difference in the multiverse. Whatever you build, I destroy. Whatever you destroy, I rebuild. Granted, time may pass between your action and mine, enough even to blind you to the relationship between them. But I bring balance to all things, tempting law and chaos, good and evil. When one force rises, its opposite too must be lifted so that both are equal. I am the true essential of neutrality. I am an Argonaut. I am real Mani. Pause. We are talking about the native species that are native to the outlands that live at the Great Spire, the spoke, the axle, as it were, at the center of the outer plains, just so you guys know. For a moment you consider the truth of my words, then you guess I'm a liar or a fool, drunken on the heady ale served here at the fortune's wheel. But I am neither. I am an observer, amused in equal measures by the wealthy and the needy who wager their futures on the spin of the gambling wheel. Is not blind chance the greatest leveler? Let me share my real name with you, if only to hear its lustrous syllables spoken once again. Jemorille, known to some as the Exile, an ugly term incorrectly applied, for my presence in the city is of my own free will. Attend to my words. My record on the prime material plane speaks for itself. I balance the forces of good and evil on a world called Earth by creating and then bringing about the destruction of a temple dedicated to elemental evil. Was the fault mine that an abyssal lord survived to bedevil the countryside? In the rolling greens of Athos, I counseled the halfling Rajat in the ways of magic so he might restore the world to his forsaken brethren. Could I have foreseen the abuses of power that despoiled that planet? And on Toril, I united for the first time the warring kingdoms of Faerun by giving them a common foe. Is my achievement sullied by the word I planted in the Kahan's ear that impelled him to raise the continent with his barbarian horde? As usual, the Arumoks took note of my accomplishments. They demanded that I return to Outlands, to the Spire, from whence I was dispatched to this city of doors for a special purpose. There is an odd term known to those here, one that no doubt escapes your mind's grasp. Kriegsstanz, or the mad, constant struggle of factions competing to claim the heart and soul of Sigil. To these factions I apply weights and counterweights, playing one against another, until all are so laden with intrigue that none can clearly rise above any other. In this way I control the entire city. It's my subtle machinations that lift a cross-trading scum to power and then knock him down again, that develop items of magic for one faction and the means to block them for another. That hides a murderer from the law or allows him to be captured. It is indeed within the lady's power to punish those who offend her, but it is within my power to prevent the offender from coming to her attention, or to prevent the offense from ever taking place at all. And so the lady is as much my tool as the mute Dabus are hers. The lady is but one of my puppets. There is another, a jackal-headed fiend known to sub as Shemeshka the Marauder. I push and pull her like a rag doll, even as she fully considers me a mere worker in her employ. She knows me as the sleek male tiefling named Callcook, a fawning groomer guard beset with the singularly vacuous task of standing close by her with her polished mirror should she wish to gaze upon herself. And she does, of course. Her ego knows no bounds.
But it is an easy deception to maintain. After all, did you yourself believe the illusion before I revealed the truth to your bedazzled eyes? The fiend does regard me with some esteem and often sets me to work as her spy. My incredible talents, unknown to her, allow me to succeed where others fail. Imagine the power of a spy who can transform himself into the shape of any being, who can vanish from one spot and reappear in another, who can walk the streets unseen by all eyes, who can warp reality with suggestion and illusion. Do you know me? Could you describe me? I think not. I am 1,000 beings. I masquerade as a single thread in Shemeska's tapestry of guards and spies, but it is I who use her secrets to control the balance of this city. I who pull the strings of power even as she sits ignorant on the throne. The irony of the situation never ceases to amuse me. I control Shemeska and so many others by allowing her to think she controls me. That fiendish conflict known as the Blood War is another of my fancies. The truth is I keep it going, eternally balancing one side against the other. I assist the Asura Koi as he arms Batizu and Tanari alike. He hopes the two evils might eventually annihilate each other and is surprised at his success to date. He should be. It has nothing to do with him. During my successful forays onto the Prime, I learned of a game called chess, much removed from the baser games played out here nightly in the Fortune's Wheel, in which lords wage subtle war through the strategic manipulation of lesser beings. I have found no comparison to my own situation more apt, so please feel free to make your next move. The last move is always mine. And that's the end of our entry. Jemorille the Exile is an Argonaut. It's not a creature that exists in 5e. It's an older creature centered on the Spire in the Outlands, extraplanar. Arrogant and condescending in personality, he can be found anywhere in Sigil in any guise, but often attending Shemeska the Marauder at Fortune's Wheel as her groomer guard Kolkuk. Okay. Advanced illusion, cones of cold. He's got a lot of invisibility and illusion spells, a lot of ability to transform as well. As Kolkuk, Jemorille is bombastic, haughty, and catty, making spiteful remarks about others under his breath. He tries to manipulate others with subtlety, but he's sometimes more obvious than he realizes. In combat, Jemorille considers most beings beneath his contempt hardly worth the time or trouble to fight. If pressed, he prefers to use the more common spell-like powers of suggestion or illusion at his disposal, invisibility, mass charm, and so forth, rather than use his greater powers and risk exposing his true form. So, what does this mean to us in 5e in modern parlance? This is a strange, Jemorille the Exile is a strange creature. This is me completely opining at this point, but I interpret him as I hate to use the term MacGuffin, but as a mystery character, as a wild card. The reading gives us connection to multiple material plane worlds that he claims to have been part of the major effects on that have altered the time. Whether you want to use that or not, it's up to you. The important thing to remember when you read this and try to apply it is this is Jemorille talking about himself. It could all be horseshit. It could all be bullshit. And if you don't buy into his horseshit, you just need him to be this delusional mirror holder who thinks that he's important, but he's really just Kolkuk, then that's what you do. If you need someone behind the scenes to kind of connect the separate plots that are going on within the city, the Blood War, the rearming of the Blood War, the tribulation between the Trade Consortium, Zadara, and Shemeska, on and on. There's a lot of big plots going on in the city. Then Jemorille might feature a little bit heavier. Personally, I treat him as the former. I treat him as this delusional person who thinks that they've done all of this big shit on all these other multiple worlds and now is resigned to holding a mirror for an Arcanoloth. Okay? Some of it can be one of these situations where is this truly the guy pulling the strings of the puppet, or is this just the presentation of a megalomaniac who thinks that they are truly a power player in the city? So really, Jemorille's use in your campaign or even appearance in your campaign is completely up to you. If you need that extra behind the scenes guy, Jemorille can certainly fit into that role. If you need this unstable person who thinks they know more than they really do, Jemorille can fill in that role. If you want to completely ignore Jemorille, because it does kind of, I don't want to say stretching the bounds of believability. We're playing D&D for crying out loud. But if it does feel weird that this one simple man, this one simple creature was responsible for the rise of the Temple of Elemental Evil, was responsible for the fall of the Sarukian Empire, was responsible for the destruction of Athos himself, then go right ahead and use him for that in that capacity. To me, that's more of a kind of a delusional kind of, yeah, whatever, Jemorille, yeah, let us know when you fuck up Kryn next. Oh, wait, you already did that, ha ha ha. But yeah, he is a little bit more of an ambiguous non-player character. But the reading itself, the themes behind it can kind of point to that, the concept within Sigil, you really never know who's who. You really never know who's what. You really never know who's in power. Kind of one of the things I tell my players when they first get to Sigil, beware the toe you step on today, because it might be connected to the foot that kicks your ass tomorrow. So Jemorille can certainly fit into that if you need something a little bit bigger behind the scenes. It was Jemorille all along. If you're into that kind of building, he can serve as that purpose. Typically, I treat him, like I said, as this freaking crazy-ass delusional lieutenant to Shemeshka that can cause some confusion and sow some discord between the players and Shemeshka if that's who they've aligned with. He's not attached to any of the factions, even though his story claims that he's working all of this, that, and the other. This is basically a person claiming he has near godlike powers within the city to manipulate everything. So if you need one of those NPCs in your campaign, Jemorille can fill that gap. But yeah, that's the end of this. We're going to go ahead and end this reading there. Thank you so much for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the story. Interesting guy. Like I said, to me, it's like, whatever, crazy man. But if you need it, it's there. If you need the one big piece that's connected to all the malady in the multiverse, Jemorille claims to be that person. So if you want to build on that, knock yourself out. But hey, thanks for hanging out. Likes, follows, subscribe, shares, all those cool things are appreciated. Let me know in a comment. Let me know what you think if you're enjoying the series. Join us over on Twitch if you want to chat live real time about all this stuff. But above all else, thank you for your time. Thank you for continuing along, and hopefully we'll see you for another episode soon. Be safe.